Hulu just dropped a new docuseries called The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, spotlighting several well-known Mormon TikTokers. It's creating quite the buzz online, with many questioning how closely these influencers' lifestyles align with traditional Mormon values. Now on this channel, we usually steer clear of discussing topics like religion, politics, and personal lifestyle choices, and just focus on the DJing and the music. But since the show was filmed right here in Utah, where I'm based, I happen to know the DJ that was featured on one of the episodes, Erik Miner. So I thought it'd be fun to bring him on the podcast and chat a little bit about what it was like to DJ at an event that ended up on one of Hulu's most viral TV shows. Today I'm joined with Erik Miner. So welcome to the DJs Powerup Podcast. How are you doing?
I am great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. So on this channel, we just like to talk about DJ stuff, and you had a very interesting DJ gig. You were on the DJ on The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives.
Yes, I was.
So how did this opportunity find you?
Yeah, so it's kind of like any event that you go to, you never know who's going to be in the audience. You never know what's going to come from it. So you're kind of always auditioning when you're at an event. So in my specific episode, which is episode 8, the very last one of the girls is throwing a launch party for this new brand that she's coming out with. But there's a tattoo artist that is at this launch party. That girl, I DJ'd her wedding. It was probably, I don't think it was 2 years ago, but it was definitely over a year that I DJ'd her wedding. And that's how we got connected when they were trying to find vendors and people for this party. So that's how it came about.
Yeah, that's awesome. And so when you were doing this party, did you think it was just a normal party, or did they tell you you were filming for this controversial show?
Yeah, so I had no idea that this is what it was going to be. So the way it was explained to me from the very beginning, my contact was Macy, who is one of the girls, which, side note, like she's kind of like the fan favorite, I think. So I'm glad I'm like associated with her. That feels really good. But it was explained to me that we're having a launch party for this brand that I want to come out with. I'm trying to do something for moms and to give them, another supplement, some whatever this gummy that they're coming out with, and focusing really on these new moms to have something. And I want to have just a girls' night, invite all my friends, and we just want to have a big girl dance party, just girl anthems and just like this woman empowerment. Like that is the vibe that I want to go for. And we talked about different venues that she was trying to get and different colors, and she definitely wanted it to be pink. So there were things that she knew that she wanted to have. And a DJ was one of them because she just wanted the ultimate girl party. And then fast forward, we are going through like different planning of just music in general, but mostly just trying to lock in a venue that would fit as many people that she wanted to have there.
Sure.
And we finally found one, and that worked out great. And when I showed up, it was very much just a regular thing. Okay, let me go back. Sorry. So she did mention that, and it might be recorded for a show, but it was very just like, it might not happen.
Super nonchalant.
Yeah, just, I don't know if they're going to show up. And what she was wondering of why they were not going to come is because, I'm just trying to put it in the best way, that she didn't know if it was going to be too late to be included in the show, or if the show would even want to pick up this to like promote one thing that she was doing on her own. And so she was kind of back and forth if they were even going to actually want to film it, because they weren't going to contribute any like budget to the event. And so she figured if they're not contributing anything, then they're not going to want to even show up. And so that's kind of the conversation that was going behind the scenes, but very like, it's probably not going to happen. And, you hear these things all the time of different influencers that you're like, yeah, sure, whatever. But I mean, she's got the credentials and all the things match up that it could happen, but I didn't think it really was going to happen based on our calls. So I show up to the venue, start setting up. I'm saying hi, she's there, setting things up. Other vendors are showing up. It just feels pretty normal. And then I'm noticing a lot of like vans coming in, and they're bringing in all these like Astera tubes and huge cameras, and people are in like full, like, not like, I don't even know, put it like in an army suit, but it's like they've got a backpack with like gimbals and poles and microphones, and they're just this walking robot with all of these cameras all around them. And there's multiple, a complete movie set. And so I obviously know they're going to be shooting things. So I'm like, okay, like what do I need to do from like the lighting standpoint and like speaker placement and all of the things like to not interfere with what they're doing. And they were very cool. They were very nice to work with. They're just like, you just do your thing. And I know we're
Nice.
going to talk a little bit about gear later of what I brought, but we played very nicely with each other about what things that I could do and shouldn't do. And yeah, so that's what happened. So walking into it, I had no idea. Do you want me to keep going? Because I can keep going.
Man, that's a lot of extra pressure.
Yeah.
Like when I'm doing something, an event like that, I want like some adequate time to like mentally prepare. So, I
Yeah.
mean, were you freaking out a bit?
Yeah, very much so. Mostly because I'm not the DJ that's trying to like make it all about me and do a comedy special on the phone or like when I'm DJing or like just the way that I'm DJing in general. So I was like, oh man, like I don't want to really get in the way. I don't want to look like I'm the center of attention at this thing because I'm up on the stage in the middle of everyone. I
Right.
don't want to make it seem like, oh, I'm just this DJ who's full of himself. So I'm like, there's even like one of the shots you can see like I'm totally in the frame, but I purposely like move out because I didn't want to be like in the spotlight at all. So there's little moments that I'm like, yep, see, I moved out of the frame. I'm sure the cameraman appreciated that.
That's good to hear that they were like pretty chill and like
Oh
not
yeah.
super demanding and super difficult to work with. Um, yeah. How did you find out that you were like on the show? Like you saw all these people, so you figured it would be big. So did you like watch the show when it came out, or?
Yeah, so she actually gave me a heads up. I saw a trailer for it that it was coming out, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's her! This is the show." I knew there was talk about Hulu, so I knew that was like a keyword that I would be able to like remember. So this was in March of 2024 of when all of this happened,
Okay.
and that it would be coming out maybe in the fall. Is kind of all that I knew, and that it could be on Hulu. So I see the trailer, I see her, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, this is it." So we still are like very close, like on Instagram, like sending messages back and forth.
Oh,
And
cool.
so she sent me a message and gave me a heads up, and I was like, "Hey, you're in episode 8." And so it's been that's kind of how I found out, and yeah, it's been really cool.
Did you know it blow up like this?
No, not at all, not at all. Because a lot of people are like, "Oh, this can't be that good. Like, who's gonna watch this?" But then it just yeah, it just everyone's all about it. And it's been fun to see how fast I got responses because it meant that they binged through the whole season who really like binged through it the fastest. And I started getting those messages right away, like, wow, you watched that whole season in a day. Like that's what I'm thinking.
I mean, that's how I found out about it. Like one of the our local DJs, he posted it in our local DJ group, and then he's like, "Congratulations to Erik," and I'm like, "I know that guy."
Yeah. Yeah, it's been thank you. It's been really cool. Mostly like the weddings that I've gone to recently, like the different vendors that you see, they're like, "Hey, I saw you, season finale." Um, that's been really cool. But a lot of like couples have like sent me a picture and be like, "That's my DJ." So it's been cool, like to have that be like, "Wow, that's mine." Like that I know him, so it's been cool to have that connection.
No, dude, that's an incredible achievement. That's a great feather in your cap, and I mean, that's even like Instagram bio worth. Maybe
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah. I don't know. I don't know how much I'll lean into it. I mean, it's cool. And kind of going back to like being the center of attention type thing. That it's been kind of cool that subtle way of just letting it kind of happen.
Yeah.
Like I've shared a few stories when people have tagged me, but I'm not like every day going, "Hey, episode 8, check me out. Have you seen the show yet?" So I haven't. It's been nice to kind of have just that slow burn of people finding out on their own.
Right. Enjoying my favorite episode because I'm
Yeah,
in it.
yeah, exactly.
Well, yeah. So tell us more about the gig.
Yeah, so as far as like with the challenges that came up, here I am with going in just like girl anthem music, and it's just gonna be like girls' night out. And at the time, so I just switched from Tractor, which is like the first digital software that I used for DJing, and I just switched to Engine, and we're
Ah,
using the SE6000 players. Like this is like my third event with these players, and the producer came up to me and said, "Okay, as far as the music goes, I'm going to send you a link that has the songs that are cleared that you can play." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I've done all this prep work to like have the ultimate girls' night out, and now it's like nope, here's the music that you have to play.
Jeez.
So that was stressful on its own. So as far as like what I did from a DJ standpoint, so I had to download it onto my computer, and then at the time I was using, I think DJ Studio was just coming out, where a lot of my playlists I would just put in the kind of like their folder section and sort it by mood. So it
Sure.
kind of automatically uses like the energy and the BPM and the key, and it kind of just sets the tone for a good set. And so I just put all of those songs into one of those lists and played it in that order. And there were times that the producer came over and be like, is this one of our songs? Like, is this ours? So that was cool to be like, even though that I was playing this like music that no one really knew, there was still like an okay vibe to it that even the producer was like, are you sure this one was on our list? So that was cool, but very challenging right in the moment to not have any prep work for those songs. And then I have to transfer those to the hard drive and then make sure that those tracks are working and resort everything. So there was a lot definitely on the fly that had to work when it came to the music.
Yeah, especially with Engine, like yeah, if they give you a USB drive, maybe that's a little bit easier because you can just plug it right in there.
Right.
But you have to pull out your computer, so
Yep.
that's why when I tried to do the Prime 4 Plus, I'm like, I really do have to have my computer in the gig bag.
Yeah, it was good for this moment to transfer things over, but I will say it has been so nice to not have like a laptop right in front of my face
Yeah,
when DJing. That's been really cool to just really, I feel very involved in the crowd compared to before.
nice. So you talked about like the studio people bringing all their production. You had like a really clean setup. So tell us about like what kind of gear you brought.
Yeah, so I had the both lighting tubes. So I had 8 tubes with me. I had the Wash FX2 that I used mostly just to light the ceiling, because it's kind of like this glass venue. It's kind of like a transparent venue. So I just shot the pink colors up there. And then I have I think they're the 6x18 or 5x18, both up lights. And those are in white. And I put those around the room and then also in pink. And as far as software goes, I've been using Maestro, which is like an AI DMX thing. I was using the WMX one, which is amazing, but I've just wanted to, keep trying something new so I don't get
Sure.
too bored. Not that I would get bored with the WMX one, but I wanted to try something new. So I was involved with their Kickstarter, have the module and everything. And it's nice because not every fixture has the same color of pink. So it's nice that I can go in and kind of fine tune the right pink for what I'm after on that specific fixture. And for what they wanted was pretty much a static color of pink throughout the night. So just having that be the same color of pink was very important.
Oh, that's awesome. I was gonna ask you, like, did they like tell you what they wanted for like the lighting, and you answered that. And yeah, I was doing some research about like lights flickering, and some people were saying like the higher quality lights don't flicker. And I learned that the intensity, when it changes from intensity or changes from color to color, sometimes it does flicker. And if it's just a solid color and it's battery powered, it's probably not flickering. So
Yeah, I didn't have any complaints about any flickering, so that probably was in the advantage of being on a static color, maybe. So, but that wasn't like a mandatory thing, but I just figured that that was the appropriate thing to do. And that was kind of another hard challenge, was just the balance of she wants a girls' night out, the producers want content and a show, and so trying to find that medium, and they're kind of reached a point where she's like, no, look, like I'm really want to party with my friends, so the producers would be like, okay, you've got 10 minutes to do your party, and then we're going back to our playlist. And so that would have been another nice heads up. Like if I knew like I had just 10 minutes, then I could have just created something that would have just been so impactful for those 10 minutes to really just take that to where I wanted it to go. But this is all on the fly. Then I'm like, oh man, like okay, here we go. Let me grab some of my banger songs off of this list that I made and see how many I can get through in 10 minutes. And it was good, but it could have been so much better. And so that's one thing that has really helped me, I guess, for later in the year, that it's like, okay, now I have this mindset that let's just pretend that I only have the next 10 minutes. What am I going to do? And
I
that's
like
really
that.
helped me with like my mixing lately, that not that I'm just playing like 2 seconds of a song, but it's definitely
Right.
kept me on top of it. Be like, okay, let's make this next 10 minutes like the best 10 minutes. So I guess a good learning lesson, but it was fine.
Yeah, I totally get that. Sometimes like I should probably pace myself, but then I know it's like if you just like challenge yourself and just try to put the bangers out there now, then in the next 10 minutes you'll have the same mentality and it'll just be bangers all night in a really energetic, good environment. Uh, do your family and friends have any feelings with you being on the show?
Yeah, that's a good one. So uh I wonder how the best way to put this. So my mom, uh I told her, I'm like, hey, did you see the trailer for the show? That's the one I'm going to be on. And it was such a disappointed voice. Just, oh, Erik, why? Why would you want to be associated with that? Like, just though, like, so disappointed. Like, I've just done something horrible. And I'm like, are you kidding? Like, what's going on? And she's like, well, there's just so much negative talk about the church and why they're choosing the Mormon name, and that the church has to come out and say that they're not a part of it. And thankfully, I had like some backstory to be like, they didn't have any idea that this was going to be the name of the show. Like, that was not up to them. They had no say. They didn't sign off or have to approve this is what we're going to do. So no one knew that was going to be the name. But and so people that are like when members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints or Mormons will know this phrase. But my mom said, well, I really hope your bishop doesn't watch because he's probably going to want to talk to you. And then the people that I've told that to, they're like, wait, so your bishop can watch it? How does he know? But that's been the only person that was kind of disappointed. Everyone else in my family is very like reality TV. So they love like The Challenge on MTV, Real
Yeah.
Housewives of Salt Lakes.
Oh,
So that's
sure.
like the fun part of the show is like you get to see all these like restaurants and venues. You're like, hey, I know where that is. I've been there.
Right.
So everyone else in my family is like, yeah, they love the locations, but they're loving the drama of like, oh, I can't believe her, or I can't believe him. Like they're very much involved. And I think that was the cool surprise is like watching it. I thought I would just be like a glimpse in the background and be like, all right, cool. Like I'd be able to say I was there. But I had like speaking lines. I was like a cast member on this episode. So it was pretty cool to be like just to have that. Like I had no idea I was going to get that much airtime like at all. So that was pretty cool.
Have you seen any like impact on your career? Are you getting like any leads or bookings out of this?
Um, I haven't seen anything, but definitely the people that have booked me in the past are the ones that have just been so excited to see me, or even just like past friends on like Facebook will send me a message or random Instagram messages. So I haven't yet received the referral inquiry where it says we saw you on Hulu. So that hasn't happened yet.
That's awesome. I know you're a reality TV DJ now.
Yeah, apparently.
And I told my wife, I'm like, what if I got the opportunity? Could I DJ at this? And she's like, absolutely not.
Oh no.
I don't know if the opportunity actually came, it might be different, but I don't know. Still pretty funny.
Yeah,
Um,
it's wild.
yeah, so has this been a valuable experience for you or just another gig another day?
I would say it's been pretty valuable because there was a lot of learning. I mean, nothing like being thrown into the fire like that with pressure of, okay, I've got to make sure like my equipment's working. I'm mindful of what's happening at the event. That in a sense, there's really nothing about a DJ at this event when I'm playing music that no one really knows and they're trying to capture audio. I have to be careful with how loud the sound is and speaker placement so it's not too close to people when they're filming. So it was a good like validation point to be like, okay, I've learned a lot along the way to know like what's appropriate and what the vibe should be to make sure that everyone's happy, and to find that happy medium of them wanting a full on party and the producers wanting really nothing to happen so that they could control the environment.
Right. Yeah, I heard they're making season two. I mean, it was so viral that I don't see how they cannot make a season two.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
maybe you'll take those lessons and be on season two.
Yeah, I would love because I always see it like who is your favorite non-cast member character? So maybe I'll get that vote.
Well, awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on to meet with me today about your experience being on the show. Do you have any final thoughts you want to share with the viewers?
No, well, yeah, I will just say that just treat every event that you're on an audition for the next one. So you never know who's going to be in the crowd. You never know who is related to so and so. So just make sure that you're always delivering the best experience you can. And that comes with preparation so that you can make any changes on the fly.
I love that. I think Randy Bartlett preached that so much, saying like every gig is an audition for your next one. And yeah, just treating every gig as an important one. There are no unimportant gigs, even if you're volunteering to do something for free for someone in the neighborhood. Good opportunities can come of that as well.
Yeah. And I know that will probably be a question like, oh, did he get paid? Yeah, I got paid for this event. Like we said, like Hulu did not have a budget for it. This was something that she paid for, and I was paid for the event. So it's not something I did just for
Wow.
to be a part of the, yeah, to, do it for the exposure. Nope, there was very much money involved.
That's what I don't get about the talks of exposure. It's like paying gigs also provide exposure. Might as well just get paid and get the
Yeah,
exposure.
why not both?
That is so cool, man. And you know, we're in Utah. Utah's kind of a small community. I just went on vacation to Hawaii, and half the people we talked to didn't even know what Utah was. So
Wow.
it's cool that we have a reality TV show and we're just shedding some light, whether it's positive, negative, and embarrassing. I don't know. Whatever the case is, shining lights on Utah. We had the Olympics once, we're having it again.
Yep, true.
But no, that was a great event for you, man. Super happy for you. So how can
Thank
people
you.
find you and support you?
On Instagram is the best one. It's under the company name, which is Miner Music DJ.
Awesome. I'll have a link in the description below to that, and it's probably on the overlay of this video. So thank you so much for coming on, Erik, and have yourself a wonderful day.
Thank you so much.